I would like to start this movie review by saying sorry. Sorry to Tom Hiddleston. I mean, I love you, I adore you on professional and personal level, and you are cute as heck. But Tom, I am sorry. You might be cool as a god. You might be killing it as a night manager, but you make a terrible, very terrible ex-soldier wildlife tracker. I'm sorry. Good morning, afternoon, evening everyone. Hi, my name is Myra and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for you guys who have subscribed to me, and if you don't, please do. But, you know, this is just a reminder for those who have subscribed to me. You know, there's a bell button besides my subscribe button. Don't forget to click it so you will be notified if I upload new things. You won't be missing my craziness. Okay, that is the PSA for the day. Moving on to the review. Who hasn't seen the 2005 King Kong movie? It's about a movie crew who wants to shoot a movie in the Skull Island. And it involves a woman that will eventually be liked by the big monkey and will be the only person that could get close to him. The movie is part drama, part action, and it was really good. However, this movie is nothing like that. There is no drama involved, at least not from where I see it. There are intrigues, but all of them are for the sake of the action. Although, I think this is not the best that the people in charge in this movie can do, you know, with this movie. I mean, maybe after the preview I could explain to you more about it. Unlike the last King Kong movie, this movie doesn't have anything to do with the movie crew. It's actually about a group of scientists specialized in hunting large species or large monsters. I think it is more suitable that way, large monsters. And they want to go to an island that has this perpetual storm around it, with suspicion that there might be the monsters that they were speculating about, even though the front of the research is just for studying this unknown island. They were able to convince a senator for funding and eventually get a military escort as well, while they are trying to hire a tracking expert. Then there's also a professional photographer who is conveniently the only woman in the group, or at least the only woman worth noticing. Then all of these people just sail to the island, go inside with helicopters and just dropping bombs to know the geographical outline of the island, and that act pisses off the Kong, the big monkey who ends up killing a lot of military personnel. Because of his wrath, this group is split into two, and they embark on different journeys, and were able to know more about King Kong and the island a little bit more, at their own point of view, of course. First reaction, it is a really artistic action movie. Every shot is meticulously counted, even when it's just a casual walking or a short conversation. It's just very glossy, and you realize that it takes a lot of time to shoot it, or at least that's what I think. You know, they need a lot of effort. However, after a while, it gets a little bit too artistic for me. When it was supposed to be full of action or sensitive, like when someone died, for example, I can't feel the emotion or the thrill that was supposed to be there when it happened because of the shots. You know, they were either too distracting or too annoying. It's just saddening for some reason. Even when they do jump cuts from one scene to another in a different time frame or places, it is artistic. I just shake my head after a while. I don't like it. Do let me know if you feel the same way. Or if you don't, it's up to you. Also, I realized that they try so hard for the viewers to be engaged to the action, so I think it could have a different feel if you watch it in 3D or even in 4D. Maybe you can try that one instead of just watching it in 2D. Another thing that I realized is how the cuts in this movie is sometimes weird. Like, for instance, the characters were hiking a mountain when it was barely evening, like almost evening but still in the afternoon. I mean, the sun tells me that. The sun in the movie tells me that. But after hiking, all of a sudden it's pitch black, really dark at night. And this didn't happen just once, it happened several times. A friend of mine also claimed that there are costume changes, like one character wear a shirt but in the next scene she wore nothing. But you know, they don't really say that there are time lapse in that part of the movie. So either this movie is censored in some parts in my country, or this movie has a really bad editing. I hope it's not the latter, because the CGI, the monsters, they are adequate to the point of almost great. The monsters are one aspect that I like about the movie. It's very new and there are many of them. Big spider things and lizard things and huge insects. Reminds me of Gulliver's Island, only gnarlier. There are also a lot of unnecessary scenes, such as when Tom was slashing monsters wearing a gas mask. Then when someone was taken and ripped apart by birds in an open space, and then the bird doesn't hurt the other people. Those two scenes are the really weird ones, because not only that they weren't necessary, they didn't make a lot of sense. I mean, why would Tom bother to wear a gas mask when the victim that he was about to rescue doesn't wear a gas mask? And he was fine afterwards, even though the gas was said as poisonous. Also, why would the bird attack one person and didn't attack the others? Even from what I told you about, you can see that this movie has a lot of potential, but either they don't know how to show it or does a really poor job of showing it. The characters of this movie is played by a lot of talented guys. Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, Toby Kebbell, Brie Larson that just won Best Actress at last year's Oscars. There's also John C. Reilly that voiced Wreck-It Ralph, and John Goodman, an actor who played from Flintstones to Monsters Inc. It's a pity that even though the idea is interesting, the execution is awry, including the characters. I will start with the first character that I mentioned in the beginning of my video. For the record, I love Tom Hiddleston. He's a professional and he is such a good actor, and I also love his personality in real life. But he just doesn't look like a tracker to me. Not someone who lived in rough and shady places, not someone who can win a pool bet, and certainly not someone who can track people or things in the wild. Even the costumes that he wore doesn't work out for me, and it's a pity because he's a really good actor. It could be because he rarely does action movies, but yeah, it just doesn't work out. Another thing is Toby Kebbell, an actor whose work I recently enjoyed in the past year. His character died quite shortly after the movie started, and it was sad because his character actually has depth that could be explored, but it ended way too soon for me. I was so ticked off when he died. I thought we could see him until they were rescued or something. Another character that I don't see eye to eye is actually the main antagonist, which is Samuel L. Jackson. The issue that I have is his motive against Kong. Yes, he is pissed off because Kong killed most of his men, but even though people already explained that Kong did it out of self-defense, he still wouldn't budge. For someone who has led his team safely through the Vietnamese War, I thought he would have more common sense. It was told how he was disappointed because he didn't really win the war since America asked him to back out. I think just move back to America and not continue to fight against something. But really, just because he hasn't won anything worthwhile for him, he wanted to kill Kong so badly? It just sounds like the character has a white grudges and he wanted to take it on who knows how many foot ape by killing him without thinking of the consequences. The way this character is introduced and progressed is very weird, and I, for once, disagree with it completely. However, there are good things in the movie. If you like action, and if you can afford 3D or 4D, which is even better, do watch this movie because it tries its best to be immersive, and if you want to experience it, I think it will worth your money and time. The monsters are plentiful and the storyline is unique, even though it doesn't make any sense in some parts. But just enjoy it for the fun of it. Nothing more serious than that. Of course, there will be monster on monster fight. Apparently that never gets old. So that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment below your thoughts on this movie, or maybe what are the things that I could review next. And you know what? Like this video if you like it, and subscribe because it doesn't hurt. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you next time. Bye!